A new cat PFP trading for over $60,000, NFT strategy collections, full send, and upcoming NFT whitelists I'm looking forward to. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Crypto Gorilla video, the #1 NFT YouTube channel in the entire world. As usual, I'm not a financial advisor. Hit the subscribe button so you could help me get to 100,000 subscribers before the end of the cycle. And let's get into today's video. Starting off with probably the craziest drop we have seen in years, and that is going to be the Hypurr collection on Hyperliquid, which currently has a floor of $66,500. And this thing dropped, what, like 12 hours ago? And it has nearly $45 million in volume. So there's a ton of sales at this level. It has been ranging. Like, I really wish I traded this today. Always follow the volume. One of my biggest L's in a while, not trading this, but you can see the swings here from sub $40,000 to above $60,000 multiple times. So big W to anybody who got in on these. The highest sale so far is $471,000 on this rank 43, which this person minted it. So big stimmy for that person. But the way you got these was during the original farm for Hyperliquid, there was a question that would pop up as you were claiming your airdrop that said you may choose one of these three things. So either you got your hype tokens, which that was a massive airdrop, either you got an NFT or you got both the hype tokens and an NFT. I'm not sure if you got a different amount of tokens if you chose the NFT. However, seeing the price they're trading at, clearly picking both was the right call. Now, in order to qualify for this, you had to be on the leaderboard. So you had to be one of the top participants on the Hyperliquid leaderboard getting points. And this was roughly a year ago. So these have been trading OTC. I had heard $50,000. Here, Star Platinum says between $65,000 and $100,000 OTC. I assume the rare ones, the people at the top of the leaderboard, were the ones selling for 100K. And one of the reasons they are performing so well is due to speculation of them getting a possible airdrop allocation for season 2 of the Hyperliquid airdrop, which is expected to happen sometime in November. So huge W to anyone who received this or who was trading this. Like, if you bought the lows, you're up $30,000. I really like this collection. The art looks great, even on the floor ones. Like, I love the art. They knocked it out of the park. It's a great OG collection for Hyperliquid, and a lot of people are calling these the Bored Apes of Hyperliquid. So I could definitely see these doing really well this cycle. I don't have exposure. I feel very sidelined at the moment. I'm hoping for another aggressive dip, but Hyperliquid is also making a comeback here after the recent lows of $42. I feel like it got vamped a little bit from apestr, as well as just the market crashing overall, similar to when Pump Fund launched their token. Everybody was dogging on it, and then Bonk kind of took over with all the volume it was getting. That lasted around 2 or 3 weeks, and then Pump Fund made an aggressive comeback, setting new all-time highs. I feel we're going to see the same thing here for Hyperliquid compared to apestr. People are still going to farm apestr, but I think Hype is going to come back aggressively, and this just goes to show the type of demand and money there is for Hyperliquid assets. Next, let's take a look at the TokenWorks new coins, because last week they announced that they're going to be launching 7 new tokens, and I was really excited. I posted about it on Thursday on X. I made a video about it on Friday, which if you bought any of these collections, you are up multiples on your money. And with all of this, we also saw a new all-time high in pudgystr, which we've been covering for a couple of weeks, because every single token that has been doing really well, like, they're all getting a ton of volume and attention. 1% of the trading fees is getting aped into the pudgystr chart. So it's all flowing up back into the original. And I believe these are going to continue doing well. Now, the two that we saw over the weekend were Chromie Squiggles, which in this thread, as well as in my video, I say I'm not sure how they're going to do, but I also mentioned, like, as I'm writing this, I kind of want to buy one. I did end up buying one purely as a volume play because I am farming the OpenSea chests, right? I want to upgrade it as much as possible. So even if I don't make profit, getting that buy volume is still really good if I can get out without taking a loss. Now, I know here it seems like I made $2,000, but the fees on this collection are just way too high. I essentially sold for break even. Now, this one played out pretty much as expected. It went up roughly 0.9, and I had compared it to Pudgies and Bored Ape, which did roughly the same thing. However, the hype and momentum of this one was really hard to keep up with because it is so expensive. And that's despite the treasury for the squiggle strategy getting like a lot very quickly. Now, what it did reveal was that the following days were absolutely going to cook. So while this was happening, I was buying goblins, I was buying max pains, I was buying cryptodes, which that's the next one that launched on Saturday and did really well. Now, the cool thing about, or the thing I liked about this one is that a lot of the new school NFT traders have no idea what this is. So they probably look at it and think like, what are these pixelated toads? They didn't care about it. They were all aping goblins, which don't get me wrong, I was doing that as well, but I had so much time to position myself into this collection, trade for OpenSea volume, which I believe I traded 16 different cryptodes, and this one did really well. Now, all these collections are being front ran because they announced 7 at once. Everybody's positioning themselves and the floors are going up before even launching. As you can see, it was trading for 0.45. It ran all the way to 0.6 without anything happening. Volume kind of slowed down, so I was buying here. Then we had a second pump. This is when the squiggles strategy coin launched. And then finally, we had the final pump into the launch of this one because they were buying so many so quickly. I was tweeting about it, like 7 toads within 1 minute, 33 toads within 6 minutes. And just the strategy treasury was sweeping all of these up on their own. So this was a great play. I ended up making like $3,500 on it. If I would have just held, I probably could have made more. But like I said, I was farming OpenSea volume. So I'm happy to get that buy volume, even though I probably could have made like 8K if I just held. Now, the downside to all this is there's a lot of farmers that are getting in, right? They're pre-positioning themselves. So the floor, there was so many walls. Like there was a wall already established at 1 ETH, which is why I got lucky here when I sold the top at 0.98. The final one I just accepted a bid on because I saw we were going down. We nuked all the way under 0.7, but I'm happy to see on both of these collections, the floors are still above where they started, right? Chromie Squiggles started at 4.2, it's at 4.8. Toad started at 0.45. They're currently almost 2x what they started at, which is really good. One of my fears was the aggressive rotation. Not only that people would dump the coin and go to the next coin, but that they would just completely obliterate the floors of these NFT collections, which would really not be healthy, right? The whole point of NFT strategy is to help relieve the floors of these of unwanted NFTs that are just being passed around between flippers. So it's great to see that the collections are doing better after this whole event happened. So personally, I didn't touch any of the tokens. I don't like the taxes. Like if I buy 2 ETH of the coin, I'm giving up 0.2 immediately. And then if it goes down and I want to sell, I have to give up another 10%. I don't like that. I am much better at trading NFTs. I prefer trading NFTs, so I'm just going to keep doing what I'm good at. Now, momentum has slowed down on these, not because people are exhausted, but because there was another bug in the contract. Unfortunately, they've had 4 bugs so far. If this was anyone else not supporting punks, it would be fudded to 0. So it's funny that it's still being accepted and like embraced. But they had a 4th bug where somebody was able to switch out NFTs if it's the same contract address. And with Chromie Squiggles, it's all under Artblocks' contract. So it's all one, and people were able to essentially steal NFTs, like trade a cheaper one for the Chromie Squiggles. However, this doesn't affect any of the other collections, but they delayed it for a couple days, so floors have gone down. Now, Goblins is the main one. It's the main one I was excited about in my tweet, in my video, posting in Guerrilla Labs. They ran all the way from 0.07 to 0.16, came down a little bit. I was buying all here, and I've been buying the entire time, to be honest, even at the top, because I just believe it's going to do really well, especially after seeing cryptodes, which were almost 3x the price. So I think they're going to have hundreds of goblins in the treasury. Same issue though. There's a lot of farmers in this collection. Like if we just scroll through, you'll see, not to call anybody specific out. Okay, leave this person alone if you know who it is. But I hate seeing this. One person listing like 30, how many does he have? Listing 26 NFTs at one price. You are solo creating a wall. And this was the issue we were seeing with cryptodes, how I knew they were going to tank. We'd have flippers who have 20 listing at one price. One person undercuts them. they list all 20 underneath that person. Like, you are just killing the floor solo, and there's so many people in Goblintown who are doing this. Like here, this other wallet, like 0.31, creating solo walls. It's really hard to pass this. Just ladder this with the feature. Like if you have one, if I go to mine and I click 3 list items, you could do ladder. Like it's really not hard. Starting price 0.03 and then just do 0.001. Like it doesn't matter how little it is, but at least it's not just a single wall. So I'm still very excited for goblins. I am going to buy more. I just want to know what the date is, if it's going to be a week from now or just a couple more days. It seems like it's a couple of days, so I will be buying. I only have 6 left. I've traded over 20 of these, so I really enjoyed playing this collection. We also have the Goblintown team directly saying they're going to support. They are going to buy the treasury NFTs with their funds, adding to the fuel of the Gob strategy token. And they said they're either going to burn or raffle the NFTs. So if they burn them, they did a community vote, it's going to make the supply deflationary. After that, we have checks, which these ran all the way to like 0.6. This one's a bit weird because there's 2 collections. There's the revealed and unrevealed. We still don't know which ones are going to be bought up. I assume it's going to be the revealed, and then naturally the unrevealeds are just going to have to keep up with their price, because if not, you could just gamble revealing, try to hit a rare. Are there rares on this? I don't know, but try to hit a rare and it's like a freebie. So these are going to have to naturally go up in price. After that, we have Good Vibes Club, which I will say, I think they were the first account to reply to my video on Friday on X. So they're clearly paying attention to this meta. And I think they're going to use this as momentum to maybe break their previous all-time high, which, what was it? It's hard to tell in this chart. I don't think they broke 1 ETH. I think it was around 1 ETH, their all-time high. So hopefully they're able to break that. It's going to take a lot of volume, right? They're at 0.5. Currently, there's a lot of listings, 8.8. There's 600 listings. Yeah, it's going to take a lot to do that. Hopefully they can. Or even before Good Vibes Club, there's going to be Max Payne. I think this one has the benefit, like Cryptodes, where people don't exactly understand what this is. A lot of the new school don't know who XCopy is, outside of him shilling some degen mints recently. So I've traded a bunch of these. I currently still hold 2, and I do plan on grabbing more on the dips. One, I don't mind holding XCopy pieces long term. There's a bunch of raffles for stuff that prints in his Discord, but he also has such a huge following who are uber rich. Like, people buy his individual pieces for millions of dollars. So I think this one is going to cook. And then finally, we have Milady's. This one caught me off guard. Like in my video and my tweet, I said I don't think it's going to go that crazy. But, you know, pre-launch, it went from 0.72 to over 2 ETH. So, you know, obviously people are still hungry for this stuff. And I'm just really excited about this narrative. It is really helping NFTs while we all wait for like the OpenSea TGE details. Speaking of OpenSea TGE details, if you are currently farming, I'll put this Dune link down below. It allows you to check your buy volume. So it'll update every day or two. It might not be instant, even if you run the run query. Here they give you dates for the next update. I currently have nearly $500,000 in buy volume. Don't believe the rank they give you though. Like, the team even said nobody knows what the ranks are. They haven't released any of the details. They haven't confirmed anything. There's no way to get the secret info like on chain or whatever. So take it all with a grain of salt. I'm just using this for my own personal volume checker. I'll link that in the description down below. Now, the cool thing with these NFT strategy coins, it's not just the ones that they have announced that are doing really well with price action. People are speculating about others. In my video, I mentioned Azuki, Nakamigos, Chimpers, and Doodles. We saw Nakamigos go wild. I don't know what was causing this. A ton of like new wallets and whale wallets were sweeping. We saw Cool Cats also do really well. The listings were super thin, so it pumped. There was a crazy dump here, and now it's kind of stabilized higher than it was. We also had Chimpers, which I called this one out, also had very low listings, so I bought a couple. I flipped them, but I still do have my day one Chimper that I minted, but same thing, such low listings, it pumped. So I do think Chimpers has really good odds of getting one. We also have Sappy Seals that had a nice little pump after WAB tweeted when SAP strategy. So this one's sent, but it's pretty much back down to where it started. And the reason they're all coming back down is due to that delay, right? Because now we have to wait for the 5 coins to go. And then people are assuming after that happens, there's going to be maybe a week or two where no new tokens launch. I think they're going to try to roll out the protocol where they let other people launch so they don't have to do it anymore, which was the goal of doing the NFT strategy coins. But to be determined. The other one that's doing really well is Doodles. Wild pump on this one as well. It was pumping, crazy dump. I guess this is just one person accepting bids, and then it found its way back, currently sitting just under 1 ETH. And that's not to do with NFT strategy, maybe a little bit, because I do think they have good odds of getting a strategy token, but instead it has to do with the team, actually doing stuff. So here we have Burnt Toast saying, decades, not quarters, big month ahead. And we already know that they're going to have the Kellogg's partnership with Fruit Loops. We know that they just had a activation with Red Bull. So I think people are assuming that there's going to be more brand activation or some big distribution event that gets them a lot of eyes. So great to see Doodles have this kind of momentum, and hopefully they're able to keep it up. And then I also saw the Dude token had a nice pump, and I'm guessing that's due to this post from Binance US posting Doodles, so I guess it got a listing or something. Now, the funny thing that's happening is we're seeing a bunch of other chains try to launch strategies. Like I don't know if this is real, okay? Don't go buy or do your own research. I have done zero research into this one. I saw somebody post about, base tokens getting their own strategies. I also saw Rock Toshi post about node strategy. It is not live yet. If you look here, demo data, token not live. I don't know how this is going to work. What's it going to be, a rune? Like, the tech on Bitcoin is so slow, like it's not going to operate as quickly as everything's happening on ETH, but still, it's pumped the floor of the node monkeys. So great to see. And then I got to give a shout out to my homies who dropped before TokenWorks dropped their own pudgystr. They dropped the OG pudgystr on Abstract. They just bought their 5th pudgy. So their token's doing really well volume wise, allowing them to get their own NFTs. They have 5. I own the token. I am currently down on the token. It is getting nice price action recently, currently at 1 mil market cap, but I'm not worried, because even if it goes to 100K market cap, personally, I'm just going to be buying more because they have 5 pudgies. If you believe in NFTs, if any of these NFT strategy coins go to 0, as long as there's not some major hack, right? They have the NFTs that when these sell, when pudgies go to 12.5 ETH or whatever it's listed at, it's going to be pumped back into the chart, and it's just going to go up. So personally, I really like this narrative. It is doing wonders for NFTs. And as you can see here, I posted a little catalyst chart. This would represent NFT prices. So pre-TG campaign gets everybody excited about NFTs. NFT strategy gets prices moving up because everybody's playing the game. Then after that, we're going to have CTGE details in early October. I think that's going to make people FOMO and trade a lot more NFTs. And then finally, airdrop season, where people are getting free money and they just go spend it on monkey JPEGs. And last but not least, let's take a look at some upcoming NFT whitelists. I know not everybody likes to trade on the secondary market. Maybe they don't have the capital to play these kind of games, right? $40,000 NFTs, very small amount of people can do that. So let's take a look at upcoming whitelists, including some free drops. So the first one on today's list is Pretrillions. I didn't trade them myself, but I saw a lot of people making good money on Plasma meme coins. So Plasma NFTs are obviously going to follow. Also, the XPL coin did really well. I saw people cook on it, longing it and stuff. So this is definitely a collection that I'm looking at. I really like the look of it. I don't have whitelist. Please give me whitelist. I tried getting it. I couldn't. Every collection has like a Milady's, right? The narrative is already happening that these are the Hypos of Plasma. I really like how they look. It's obviously different from Milady's. They're not a Milady's derivative, but they still have the same vibe to them. So I really like the art, and I think these can do well. Next up, we have Project Merlin, which is going to operate as a DAO, meaning you could vote on different outcomes of different stuff, right? You control the outcome of the project. They are going to have vote to earn. So it seems like there's going to be some earn mechanics. They already have a token. It's trading at roughly 15 million market cap. However, what's cool about this is it's a low supply and it is a free mint. And this is a team that has raised. They raised over $3 million and they've been building for 3 years. If we take a look at their website, they've made multiple products. They have a freelance discovery decentralized marketplace called Freelify. They have a task platform. They also do crowdfunding, as well as have a launch pad called Fundex. So the whole point of this project is they're able to go out and find entrepreneurs, find founders, and help them take their startup from A to Z. And I also saw that they got a nice shout out here from Binance Smart Chain. They also got one from Binance Wallet, as well as OKX Wallet. So free mint, zero risk for minters, low supply, definitely one that is on my list. After that, we have two out of Darwin Corp. We have Yay Global, as well as Legendary Humanity. If you don't know Darwin Corp, they handled a few different mints like Dark Machines, which did well, Moriusa, which is continuing to do really well. I currently hold 5 of those, as well as Tokyo Beast, which I believe they shut down their game. But if you minted it, you absolutely cooked from 0.1 to 0.8. Now, Yay Global is not a brand new project. They have been around for a while. At one point, you were able to stake ETH and earn Yay Gold, which is their point system. A lot of people think it's going to get you an airdrop for their token, and they did raise a whopping $22 million. However, they do have an upcoming NFT mint that I think it's worth getting whitelisted for. If you do hold Moriusas, they're getting the biggest whitelist allocation for this project, and I think it's just going to continue. They're going to try to add a ton of value to Moriusas, which is why I bought 5 at around 0.15. The other project is going to be Legendary Humanity, which this is an RWA play, so real world assets. They have $13 million of Japanese fashion, and they're digitizing it, right? They're creating a digital version of it, and then you're going to be able to trade it. And this is a really popular narrative recently with all of the different card websites, right? People are gambling on the cards, but it's digitized cards. So you're able to claim them if you want, or just trade them for hopefully profit. So 2 projects on my watch list out of Darwin Corp. After that, jumping into the art world, we have 1 year of Shape. It's my homie's project. I got to show him some love. Very small supply at 365 pieces. It is going to be on the Shape chain. So hopefully they've locked down some metals. If you've been farming for the Shape token airdrop, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's a really cool concept. He's essentially captured 1 year of Shape. So every single day is an individual piece based on its volume, based on different transactions and other metrics. And it makes these really cool art pieces. So I hope they get a ton of support from Shape. I also saw that they are minting on OpenSea, the #1 exchange. So they also got some highlights there. And it is happening very soon on October 3rd. So another one I'm keeping an eye on. I have whitelist, so I do plan on minting. And then finally, we have another art project called Crushes. Now, the artist behind this has worked on a couple different projects, including Celestine Sloths, which is a project on Celestia. And it's these cool looking sloths. At one point, they were trading for over $9,000. Now, the whole NFT market went down, including like all these side chains. They're currently still trading though at roughly $660. And this one is going to be dropping on Hyperliquid, which now is catching a lot of attention, especially because of the Hypurr NFT that just dropped. So perfect timing. It's going to be a 3,333 supply collection, 51 of ones. So another one on my watch list. And with that, that is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, smash that notification bell. Thank you for watching another Crypto Gorilla video. Peace.